MXGP 2020 has been out for about a month now, and I'm finally ready to give my thoughts on this game. So I'm going to cover as much as I possibly can, and let's go. Customization, baby. Unfortunately, customization has been the exact same since about MXGP 2, and in this game, it's no goddamn different. They added maybe one or two new bike graphics for each bike, but they're all the same on each bike, so I guess congrats, milestone, I don't know. Same thing goes with gear, They added maybe a couple new gear sets, but they took out a bunch. Yeah, so it's pretty disappointing, We've had the same shit for like 5 years now, and nothing's new, We can't customize our own graphics. We can't make our own graphics. We can't make our own gear sets, our own logos and stuff. It's pretty, it was cool at first, but now it's mediocre. They added in the goddamn Fantic. Never heard of this thing. No one's ever heard of this thing, but it's just for memes, I guess, so cool, There's about 100 hand guards and 100 hand grips. So if you have a fetish for those things, you're going to be getting off on this game. It's clear that they only care about hand guards and hand grips because, whoa, man, there's hundreds of them, Good job, guys. So, yeah, fucking cool, Just to show you what I mean, look at all the Fox gear. They took out so much Fox gear. But we got so much shot gear, man. Oh my god, the worst gear in the game, and we got like 100 options for it. Great job, Milestone. Thank you. Another example. Take a look at this because you guys are going to love this, okay? Look at the boots they took out, right? So you got no white Alpine stars anymore, no Fox boots, and no Garnets. Great job, Milestone. Congrats. Now, of course, customization is probably the least important thing about a motocross game, I think. But, their customization is kind of lacking this year compared to previous games. Like right here, you can change your name, your color. It's been the same shit since MXGP2, same exact names, same numbers. Actually, wait, they gave us like 2 new numbers to choose from this year. Awesome, oh my god, it's so amazing. And they took out some colors, so we get less colors to choose from. It's kind of pathetic how bad they are, but yeah, man, like customization, it's not as important as other games, but it's mediocre, man. Like, I want to give customization like a 4 out of 10. Nothing's new. They took out features, or not features, I guess, but they took out stuff. So yeah, customization 4 to 10, and on to the next part of the game. Compound. Whoa. Milestone has been known for making horrible compounds because they cannot design tracks worth shit. For shit. They cannot design tracks at all. And in this game, it's the same, man. These tracks are even worse. They're the worst tracks I've ever seen in any motocross game. They're goddamn awful. The compound itself, the scenery and stuff, the water and all that, them hills, the mountains, trails, they're pretty good, man. Pretty good. But the tracks, dog shit. And the tracks ruin the compound for me because it's nice going on a compound, riding around a little bit, then doing some laps, practicing. So, yeah, compound sucks. I think they were smoking crack or something, or the marijuana when they were designing these, or they just completely rushed them and made them in like 20 minutes because, like, there's probably more creativity from fucking a baby or something. Like, these tracks are just absolutely terrible. No flow, no inside berms, no jumps at all, basically. It's basically like a Formula 1 track, pretty much. Just turns, hills. It just doesn't make... The flow is terrible, as you can see, probably. But you could have some fun on this compound, just driving around on the trails and stuff. But even then, like the hills and stuff in the background, the woods, it's not like a great design. The most fun thing to do on this compound is just ride in the little stream that this game has. My battery's on low. I gotta charge that shit. But yeah, man, like compound, it's horrible. Worst one I think we've ever seen. I'll give it a 2 out of 10, man. 2 out of 10. The tracks blow it. Yeah. So that sucks. Career. Career mode has been the same basically since the first game they made. This thing is identical as the last year's game. You gotta level up to choose which team you want. There's plenty of options. The more expensive team or the more popular teams, you get more credits, stuff like that. You can choose your own custom team. You can put a sponsor on the bike, whatever one you want, depending on your level. And also, when you choose sponsors, like for your bike and stuff, it's the sponsors go on your jersey. I think they did that in the last game. I'm not 100%, but so it is a little cool to see your sponsors go on your jersey and your bike that you pick. So you can make yourself look kind of like a factory rider. So it is pretty good. Other than that, though, it's identical. There's no like cutscenes or anything. You have to win the 250 championship to move up to the 450 championship, I believe. There's no rider transfers. There's no like story at all. It's just you're doing races, and it's like a championship, but they just put career in front of it. So there's nothing really new there. One thing though, when let's say you win the championship in the 250 class, you can't wear the number 1 plate in the 250 class. Kind of dumb. Let's say you win the championship in the 450 class, then next season you go to round 1, you do not have the red plate. Tim Geister, I believe, has it, so they didn't pay attention to detail again. That they've done that before, so a little unfortunate. But yeah, career like a 5 out of 10. No, I'm gonna drop it to a 4 out of 10 just because the lack of details and stuff. And there's just not enough there to call it a career. Really, it's just you're doing races. It's not a career at all. So yeah, career mode, 4 out of 10. Now let's look at track editor. Apparently, we're going to get elevation change in this track editor. Apparently. I think they kind of duped us a little bit. I think we all thought we were going to get to change the elevation. But no, we just got a little map that has hills on it. Pretty disappointing, but let's give it a chance. Now, unfortunately, we get these two dumbass cameras. This one where it's so zoomed out, and then this one where it's zoomed in. But the angle of it's kind of weird. And also, as you see, what I'm highlighted on right now is a straightaway, and it just flashes green in front of your eyes, so you can't even see what you're really putting down. If you wanted to put down a certain jump, you can't really tell how big it is because the pictures they display are awful, as always. And you can't even see the jump because it's just flashing the green over the item. It's pretty annoying. So I hope they get rid of that for this game or the next game because it's very bad. We get the same starts as always. We can't really mess with the size of the starting gate as we could in Supercross 3, where we could make it super narrow or super wide, which is alright, I guess. Yeah, you get all the same turns and stuff as you would before. You can flip them, obviously, but you can't add any sand in this game. I don't know why they took that out. It's a pretty key. It's not like a key feature, but it was in there before. Why would you take it out? Maybe we wanted to make an all sand track or a couple sand corners, sand sections, but we couldn't put it in. So that's disappointing, I guess, for some people. You also have your finish lines, whatever. You have your pools, the small pool jumps and the big pool jumps. Your preset triples, your preset doubles, dragon's backs, the exact same models as we've had. I think they did add a couple new like ski jumps or something, but other than that, the jumps they gave us, they're not very good. They're okay. They're not terrible. They're not good. They're just okay. They're in the middle. You can make some decent tracks with them, but nothing spectacular. And by the way, when you're making these tracks, they're so glitchy. There's lots of times where I'll be trying to put down an item, and a bunch of lines or grass lines or gaps in the track just start to appear out of nowhere. And then when I go and test the track, they're there or they aren't there. So sometimes you're going to be driving around your track and you're just going to find gaps in it because the track editor is super glitchy. So that is disappointing. A couple other things that are annoying with track editor. You're in manual transmission the whole time. Don't know why you can't change it. Pretty dumb. And when you crash on the track, you get respawned off the track pretty much all the time. And it's pretty hard to get back on the track. Not hard, but it's kind of annoying because of the track, how it's elevated off the ground. You just kind of die when you try and get back on because you hit the side of it. So it's kind of dumb. Pretty stupid. Another thing, we should be able to set markers when we're testing out our tracks, but we can't. So if you crash or you just do a section, you have to drive back around and get to where you want to go. I don't know why they have not added this. I feel like it should be a key feature in something like this, but Milestone is kind of brain dead when it comes to certain things. So yeah. Another thing, when you go in to test your track, you spawn in on the starting gate every single time. You can't choose a location to spawn. Again, I feel like it should be something that kind of doesn't need to be, but it should be in a track editor. But again, it just shows how Milestone, either they're lazy, brain dead, or they just, because of COVID, didn't have enough time. But this hasn't been in any of their games, so I'm going to go with that they are dumb. Oh, and the last thing I forgot, you still cannot go back and edit your track from the beginning. So let's say you have a few sections done, but you want to go back to the start for the first corner and change that up a bit. You still can't. So let's say you finish your track and you realize maybe in like the first couple corners, you're like, oh, I maybe want a different jump there. You still can't go back and change that. You have to delete your entire track. And I don't understand why they have not added this in their games yet. I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, COVID, but it hasn't been in any of their games. The only thing that you could do before was add straightaways and shit, and then add jumps. But now you can't even add straightaways, man. Like, it's a joke. It is a joke. I think, like, this track editor, man, it's all the features and stuff, it's not better than 2019, and 2019 was horrible. This is probably the worst track editor we have gotten, but the only thing saving it is the map. The map is great. There's good hills on it. It's a good size. But everything else is dog shit, man. Like, there's nothing new except the map. I think this is the worst track editor we have gotten, but the map, in a way, brings it up. I'm not going to change my mind here. Like, I think it's the worst track editor we have gotten. You can make some cool tracks because of the map, but everything in it is shit. So, track editor, like a 3 out of 10, man. It's not very good. Online. How is it? This is where the game gets even more disappointing. You cannot race custom tracks in online. I don't know why they haven't added that in, or they took it out. It's been in every other game. It's a pretty obvious feature that should be in there, but they took it out. Awesome Milestone, congrats. Also, it takes like 10 fucking years to get into a race when you are in a lobby. It takes like 30 seconds to pick the weather, like 30 seconds to pick the track, 30 seconds to just load in. It's ridiculous how much slower it is to get in. It's kind of a nitpicky thing, but yeah. Also, you cannot create private lobbies, so leagues in this game are not going to exist at all. Because other people could obviously join your lobby before you get your riders in there or whatever. I don't know why you can't create private lobbies. Let's say you wanted to do a race with just you and your friend. You can't. Well, you can, but you have to be quick with it or else people will join. I don't know if you can kick people or not, but you probably can because this game's fucking stupid. So online is not very good when it comes to menus and shit and overall features, but when you get into the racing and online, it is the laggiest shit I have ever seen in my life when it comes to these games. You thought Supercross 1 was bad with all the hay bales flying around and shit. In this game, the riders are flying around like they're Harry Potter or something. Like they're on their brooms, and they take you out and shit because the game is so laggy. 1 second, somebody will be right beside you. The next, they will be flying around in the air, and then your screen might lag for a couple seconds, and then everyone's 5 seconds ahead of you. It is how bad this game is for online racing. And the last thing I have to say about online, do you see the voice chat on the screen? I've mentioned this in my past video, but that thing pops up the entire race, as you see right now. When there is like a full lobby, there is 12 names popping up every 2 seconds. But the thing is, no one is talking. When you are in the race, you don't hear anybody. Maybe you might hear one guy lag in and out with his voice because the voice chat is so bad in this game. But you can't even disable the option to turn that shit off your screen. I don't know why it pops up every 2 seconds. Maybe they're talking in front of their TV. But even then, I don't think that's the case because I even tested it out myself. When I was not making a goddamn sound, my thing was still popping up. So I have no idea why this is in the game. I don't think it was even in previous games, really. It wasn't this bad because it would be when they were talking, their name would pop up. In this game, though, their names just pop up like, no, there's no fucking tomorrow. So Milestone, again, shit the bed there. Whoever the fuck decided that this would be a good idea, just fire them right now because they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, man, like online, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. I was hesitant to give it a 1 out of 10, but when the race is not lagging, it is actually fun. But that is so goddamn rare that you're getting a 2 out of 10 on the multiplayer, the worst multiplayer we have had. So many missing features, so much lag, it is dog shit. So congrats Milestone, you fucked up again. 2 out of 10. Now, arguably the most important part of a motocross game, or any game I guess, is the physics. Now, I know I have been shitting on this game like crazy the past like 15 minutes, however long it's been, but the physics, the most important part of the game, this is where the game shines. I think that the physics in this game are the best that we have had in any game that Milestone has made. You know, everything, like the whips, the cornering, the scrubs, the in-air control, everything I think is great. When I first played this game, I knew right away that it was better than MXGP 2019 for sure. But at first I was a little worried because it kind of felt a little clunky and weird at first. And the main reason for that was obviously I have to get used to it, but also the vibration in my controller was making the game feel so bad. I don't know what it feels like on PlayStation 4 or 5 controllers, but on the Xbox controller, it was horrible, man. Like, there's so much goddamn vibration. So the game felt like really weird to me. I was always hesitant and stuff. But when I turned vibration off, the game felt so much better and smoother. I was having so much more fun of a time. So yeah, turn vibration off, and for Xbox anyways, no idea about PlayStation, but turn vibration off and you will have a good time. So let's talk about whips. Everybody's favorite thing to talk about, and like, oh my god, are they like reflex? Or bro, oh my god, they're not like reflex, the whips are terrible. In this game though, the whips are good. I don't care what anybody says, I think they are good. Now I'm going to show you an example on screen of how you can make them look bad and how you can make them look good. So here is what it looks like to push your sticks together and apart without moving them around in any sort of way, and it looks pretty bad, right? But if you push your sticks together and move them around, you can make the whip look pretty decent, I think. Also, look at the Oppo whips, bro. They look so good. I catch myself throwing them all the time over almost every single jump because they look awesome and they feel awesome. They're probably not on the same level as MX ATV All Out, but I haven't played that game in a minute, so I can't really say for sure. But they're pretty good, man. The whips, they're awesome. The regular whips, scrubs, whatever, they're pretty good if you can make them look good, which I think I can. And also the Oppo whips, super easy to throw, and they look very clean. When it comes to cornering, this is also where the game shines. Whether you're on a flat bender or you're hitting those inside berms that they added, which thank you, Milestone, because actually those berms are fire to hit. You can kind of rail outside berms in this game, but not as amazing as these inside berms right there. Those things are so fun to hit, they never get old. You can do sharp turns in this game, but it takes a bit of time to get used to learn how to do it. Power sliding with your back brake, super effective in this game. I use it all the time. It's the best game we've had that utilizes your back brake. So yeah, cornering in this game is absolutely amazing. The best cornering we've had. The bike doesn't feel very clunky or heavy in the corners. It feels just about right. So good job. Cornering is awesome. The last couple things I wanted to touch on with this review here is that for tracks, the only new one that we got with this game is Faenza, which you are seeing right now. I've done a video on it before. It's a good track. Also, we do not have any track deformation in this game whatsoever. It is pretty annoying that we have not gotten any since MXGP 3. But luckily with this game, they added in some inside berms in a lot of the corners and on tracks. So it adds, it makes the game a lot more fun, because if it didn't have any inside berms, the game would be probably pretty piss poor. But these inside berms definitely save the game when it comes to the tracks. Also, bike sounds have been the same since Supercross 1, but in last year's games with Supercross 3, they did change the sound of the KTM and the Husqvarna a little bit. But other than that, bike sounds are identical since Supercross 1, so like, 6-7 games in a row now. Bike sounds are the same. They sound good, obviously, except the 2-strokes and the Suzuki 450. So yeah, bike sounds, same as always. It'd be nice if they added in some different sounds for a change, but they're good, so I wouldn't expect them to change too much with them. I almost forgot, there is no time trial leaderboards in this game. So if you're one of those guys that just like setting down fast laps, like myself, you don't really know if you're setting competitive lap times or not, because you can't see anybody else's lap time unless you go on YouTube or something. Again, like, I don't know how they missed that. Time trial leaderboards, I feel like they should be in the game if time trial's in the game. So yeah, just a little quick thing there. So yeah, man, like MXGP 2020, it's been out for over a month. I think I've said everything I want to say. Overall, all the features and the stuff that the game has to offer, not very good. But the physics, the most important part of the game, it makes up for it. Not as much, but the physics, the most important part of the game, they're great. Everything else, not so great. So overall, the review, man, my overall score, I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. The physics are great, but everything else just brings the game down so much. Supercross 4 comes out soon. Hopefully, they do not make the same mistakes with that game as they did with this one. And hopefully with the next motocross game they make, it's a finished game, because this game is not finished. There's a lot of bugs with it and stuff. So yeah, MXGP 2020 gets a 5 out of 10 for me. If you don't care about customization and everything else, and you just care about the racing or the physics, you're gonna like this game. But as of that, man, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.